We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us. How can birth and death leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth? Cung kính đại đức tăng thịnh, ý thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liễu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô San An Thua Su Che Do Ye A La He Di San Miao San Pu To Xie. Nam mô Đại Đắc Tha To Ya Da Ya A La Ha Di Tham Miệu Tham Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one true and actual principles. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu, wo jin jian wen de shou chi, yuan jie ru lai zhen shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all monks and nuns, and all good advisors, Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thánh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Kiên Thoá, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Chư Phật菩萨、Ching Liang Đại sư、师父上人、各位主持人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Hello everyone, today is the 12th of December 2021. Thank you all for coming. We're here to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. We're out right now on slide number 162. It's describing when the Buddha became a Buddha, he sat under the Bodhi tree there. For the first 21 days, he explained this sutra to the bodhisattvas. So people who were there, human beings, whether arhats or particular Buddhas, they all saw this Buddha sitting there meditating and under this Bodhi tree. But actually the bodhisattvas who came, this is what the sutra is describing, what they're seeing from their vantage points. Okay, this is the truth that escapes those who have no wisdom. All right, 162. This proclamation, O Dharma, resembles a great cloud spreading out.
演一切法如布大云。
So there's an analogy here. He's proclaiming all dharmas, all the teaching the Buddha gave to our human realm. As a Buddha were like a great cloud spreading out. So this cloud here is tremendous, it's humongous, and it's slowly spreading out. Okay, that's the nature of Buddhism. we are helping that process ourselves by helping this Dharma cloud spreading out with our own efforts as well. Okay, so this is why the Buddha came, and this is how we show our gratitude for getting so much out of his teachings. 164, his every hair tip accommodated all worlds without obstruction.
一一毛端，悉能容受一切世界而无障碍。
165, every single hair tip contains all worlds without obstructions. Okay, so his every hair tip on his body can contain all worlds, all types of worlds, everywhere in the universe. Yeah. All right. So this is a rather inconceivable state. 166. On each, he manifested the power of measureless spiritual penetrations to teach, transform, tame, and subdue all sentient beings.
各现无量神通之力，教化调伏一切众生。
Okay, 167. In each of the hair tip in his body, where he manifested a world, a single world in the entire universe. So whatever the worlds are there in the universe, they're all manifested in these hair pores. Okay, so there are countless hair pores, if you will. His body is humongous. Okay, it's not like human body we have here. His reward body is humongous. And so he, in each of these worlds that appear on the tip of his hair, in his body, he manifests himself inside each of those worlds, teaching living beings. So he manifests his tremendous spiritual powers, okay, to teach, to teach and transform. So to teach is to tell them things they didn't know before. Okay, so to open their eyes, open their minds. To transform, transform is to make them change for the better, make them achieve or become something that they were not able to be by themselves. Okay, in particular, Buddhas and bodhisattvas transform living beings from their evil habits, their bad habits, and turn them into good people. It's very simple. Nothing sophisticated about it, difficult to understand about it. All that matters to us is that you become good people, become kinder, become more compassionate. Okay? And tame. Tame here. This is where you need a lot of spiritual powers, spiritual penetration to tame and subdue the sentient beings. Okay, to tame here is to use the wisdom, to use skill and means in order to bring them to adjust to living beings' bad habits or propensities. Or you don't need to stand there anymore. You can sit down and cross your legs at one textioning because you really are not passing out microphones anymore, are you? Okay, you can sit down now. All right, so to tame and subdue all living beings, in order to be taught, to be transformed, you need to be able to tame and subdue them. To tame them and subdue means that we have the ability to work and help them control their minds, their wild minds, their uncontrollable minds. Okay? And this mind here needs to be tamed and subdued. Why subdued? Subdued because to subdue is to bring them under control. Okay? When they're uncontrollable, you need to have the strength and the power. That's why spiritual penetrations come handy, because they enable us, enable Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to subdue these living beings' mind, who are very, very difficult to subdue. Our minds, living beings' mind, have a tendency, have these bad habits, these tendencies that are heavily ingrained in them. Okay, in particular, there's this side of us where we are evil. We enjoy doing evil things. Okay, not only because of this evil nature ours, also because we are pulled, we are manipulated by the ghosts and the demons. Okay, this is why in general, when you deal with mental illnesses, it's very difficult to tame and subdue these cases, these patients, because they are not only do we have to deal with their own personal bad habits, you also have to deal with these ghosts and demons who actually are pulling the strings. Okay, and this is where you cannot argue. You cannot just talk. You cannot talk to the ghosts and the demons. The demons won't listen to you. Okay, the only thing they understand is strength, is power, and you need to beat them up when it's necessary. Okay, until they're willing to listen to reason. Okay, so it's a lot more involved than people realize. This is why it's very, very delicate. Any questions or comments? Okay, before I forget, I understand that some people are still fasting on their, still fasting, unlike concubine who quit already. Some of them are still going. Concubine is enjoying her food so much nowadays. So there's some of you who are still on your last, on your final latter part of your second section. Who is that? Okay. There's so many of you. Are you crazy? We Americans don't even do that. You are so too much. You look pretty good. Keep going. All right. Does it answer all your questions? Yes, sir.
Master, from the previous text, they say Chongsheng was translated as sentient being. Was it supposed to be a living beings? And sentient was translated as Youqing.
Yeah, living beings, sentient beings, very, very close enough. It's close enough. Okay. Living beings, sentient beings. Living beings have feelings. Okay, and so they're the Youqing. That's fine too. But yes, it's true. The correct translation would be all living beings. That's correct. Okay, so make the correction, please. It's a minor point. Okay, 168. His body filled the 10 directions, neither coming nor going.
身遍十方而无来往。
So this Buddha's body filled the 10 directions. Okay? It's so humongous in the 10 directions, stretching out everywhere. Okay, neither coming nor going. Meaning, as he manifests, when the Buddha goes to various worlds to teach living beings and rescue living beings. In fact, he's not going anywhere. He's not coming. He's not going. He's not going there, and he's not going away from there. Okay, this is the state of the Buddhas. 170. His wisdom penetrated all phenomena and fathomed the emptiness and stillness of all dharmas.
置入诸相，了法空寂。
Commentary 171. His wisdom penetrated. Penetrated here is to thoroughly go all the way to the end. Okay? All phenomena, meaning that all the things that you can see with your eyes, things you can hear with your ears, and so forth, everything you can observe, you can perceive, okay, are called phenomena. Okay? Any event happening out there, whether it's a wall there or whatever you use your sense organ to perceive, they are called phenomena. Okay? And wisdom is that he looks at every single thing. He looks at a clock. He looks at a tripod. He looks at the floor. He looks at a piece of cloth. Okay? And that's all phenomena right there. Okay? Or he looks at a certain thing happening, a car accident. Okay? So he looks at it, he can understand thoroughly why it is so. Okay? So far, so good. So it's nothing he does not understand. This is the kind of wisdom that's incredible. Okay? Master YongHua, his wisdom is tremendous. It's humongous. Okay? It's unfathomable. But for example, he still, being Chinese, he still didn't understand, for example, the cultural differences, okay, of the Western worlds or the languages, okay. Whereas this Buddha here there's no obstruction whatsoever. The state of the Buddha is a state of absolutely no obstructions, no impediments. He understands every single thing. All phenomena, men, women, everything. There's nothing he does not get. Okay? And fathomed the emptiness and stillness of all dharmas. Fathom here is to clearly understand. Okay? Clearly understand the emptiness and stillness of all dharmas. Emptiness is the true nature of all dharmas. Okay? All dharmas are empty. All dharmas are fundamentally empty. And that's a state of wisdom. What does it mean all dharmas are empty? When you say that, when you hear the Buddha say all dharmas are empty, everything is empty, everything is false, what does it mean? 6.
Master, I think all Dharma is without intrinsic, I can't think of the word, value, intrinsic existence.
Intrinsic existence, okay. Okay, what else? Why does it mean it's all empty? What does it mean when you see something, oh, it's empty anyway? What does it mean? Yes, one. It's gold, empty. What does it mean?
Not attached to it.
Not attached to it. Your wife is empty. What does it mean?
I'll pass on that one.
Okay. Then you're not empty. Your wife is not empty. Okay? I rest my case. Okay? Empty is that you have absolutely no attachment to it. Because it's not a word. It means that empty here refers to an action, a state of mind. Okay? Where is empty means that you are totally not attached to it. Whether you have it or not, it's still the same. So far, so good? Okay? What about stillness, all dharmas? What is stillness here? Stillness here refers to, is to contrast the state of the Buddha versus our state of mind. Okay? Our state of mind is that when we see a Dharma, when we see anything, our mind moves. Okay? So our mind is constantly moving. Okay? We see a thing, our thinking mind jumps. It goes, it jumps up, and then it begins to think, and this is how we are. Okay, and what happened is that when you become a Buddha, and you see all these things in the world, you say, okay. You don't even think, you don't even move. Whether nuns have 348 precepts versus monks who have 250, worldly people think it's unfair. The Buddha says, You see, he's totally unaffected. Okay? Why? What's the advantage? It's none of his business. You understand? If your mind moves, what happens? You're tormenting yourself. Even if it's fair, even if you're right, even if I'm wrong, the end result is still the same. You're tormented by that state of my being right, my being wrong. It bothers you. Well, the Buddha says, nothing bothers me. Right or wrong, good or bad, fame or profit, gain and loss, nothing bothers me. Okay? So that's why he totally understands the emptiness, okay, and stillness of all dharmas. Because if you understand that, truly understand that every single thing is empty, your mind will not move. So that's why you often see the emptiness and stillness of all dharmas combined together. Does it help? The Buddhist is very, very, very precise, okay? Because it's not talk, it's not reasoning, it's not about comprehension, it's a state of being where if you truly feel, you truly see things that are totally empty, then your mind will not move. (172) Every spiritual transformation of all Buddhas of the 3 periods of time without exception was visible within that light.
三世诸佛所有神变于光明中弥不显睹。
It's 173. So this is another inconceivable state. You see all these spiritual powers that the Buddhas manifested, whether it's done by Buddhas from the past or the present or the future, okay, and timeless, in endless time continuum, it's all present there. It can be seen within those lights. This is like free movies, free subscription, movies without subscription. Okay, it's so cool. You see this. 174. All adornments of the lands, all Buddhas throughout inconceivable aeons were completely manifest therein.
一切佛度不思议劫，所有庄严悉令显现。
175. Okay, we keep on hearing about adornments in Buddhism, adornments, right? I mean, Buddha states are so adorned, bodhisattvas are so adorned, and so forth. Okay, and that's so it says here, all adorns of the lands of all Buddhas throughout inconceivable aeons. I mean, like in endlessly, it's time endless. You watch there, and we're talking about a state where the bodhisattvas here, the bodhisattva came there, who were in attendance, can see all these the adornments of the lands of the Buddhas, okay, since endless time, okay, and they all manifest, okay? And that's from a state of incredible blessings. Okay? Okay, next 176, Great Master Ching Yang says, now the next group of verses and texts will be to describe the oceanic multitudes who gather like clouds. So there's when he was sitting there under the Bodhi tree, okay, under these assemblies, at this particular place is the Bodhi tree, he's lecturing this Avatamsaka Sutra, the people in attendance were countless, okay, countless and gathered like clouds, okay, endless clouds. And who were in attendance? Okay, now we're finding out who were there. Bodhisattvas, number one. It's 177. The Buddha was surrounded by bodhisattva mahasattvas, as many as dust motes in 10 Buddha worlds.
有十佛世界为成数菩萨摩诃萨所共围绕。
178. Okay. In attendance, who were there? First and foremost were bodhisattva mahasattvas. Why do they call bodhisattva mahasattvas? It's pusa mohasa. These are the bodhisattvas who were the retinues of mahasattvas. Okay, and this is why the Chinese always say the text always say bodhisattva mahasattvas. It's because these mahasattvas, the great bodhisattvas, have their own retinues. They're teaching the retinues. They're helping their own retinues, helping and supporting their own retinues. Okay, maybe because don't take this wrong. Maybe because those bodhisattvas are not good enough to be taught by the Buddhas themselves. And that's why they need to go through the mahasattvas first. Okay, or maybe those mahasattvas have better affinities, better conditions to teach those bodhisattvas than the Buddhas. So regardless, okay, the mahasattvas were in attendance, and with them their own retinues of bodhisattvas. Well, okay, and in fact, those bodhisattvas who were present because they accompany the Mahasattvas actually are outstanding bodhisattvas and not regular bodhisattvas, you will. They're pretty high level bodhisattvas. Okay, for you to make it there. Okay, to be able to be enlisted to accompany the Mahasattvas to attend this lecture. Okay, there are as many as dust motes in 10 Buddha worlds. It's countless. Okay, 10 here. Dust motes are countless. 10 Buddha worlds here is 10 times a countless number. So it's like more than we can count, more than we imagine. Well, we can conceive. All right. 179. The names were Bodhisattva Mahasattva, universal worthy.
其名曰普贤菩萨摩诃萨。
Okay, so now they're gonna mention some of the names. Okay, usually 10 names only. They're just countless, and that's why in the state of the Avatamsaka Sutra, 10 represents countless. 10 represent infinite. Okay, tens upon tens upon tens upon tens of layers. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. I apologize. I may have learned at some point, but if I have, I've forgotten. Could you please tell me the difference between a bodhisattva and a mahasattva?
Okay. Bodhisattva are bodhisattvas who are up levels, who are enlightened beings, who are from grounds 1 to ground 7. That's a bodhisattva. Mahasattvas are from grounds 8 through grounds 10 or higher. Okay. Any bodhisattva who's above 8th ground, okay, are called Mahasattva. All right. So in other words, in the bodhisattva world, in the enlightenment world, there also are hierarchy, also have classes, if you will. And it's very well delineated. Okay, when you are a first ground bodhisattva, you see second ground bodhisattva, what do? You kneel down and you bow. Because the second ground bodhisattva is a teacher, first ground bodhisattva, because his wisdom or her wisdom is far greater than the first ground bodhisattva. One level up, you see them, you bow down, like you bow your own teacher. You see that in the entering the Dharma realm chapter 39, I believe. Okay, where he goes around one bodhisattva, learn from that bodhisattva, bows at bodhisattva, learns the bodhisattva, for a long, long time before he mastered the Dharma doors. And then he was told to move to the next level bodhisattva. And he came over to the next level bodhisattva. He bowed down and said, "Please teach me. I'm internally grateful for you." So it's very clear that if you go from one level to the next, they're considered your teachers. Because the wisdom is way beyond than you can even fathom. Okay, so that's why in the Buddhist world, it's very hierarchical. This is why the true Buddhists are so respectful, not arrogant. Only stupid people are arrogant. The real Buddhists who have wisdom, who are taught properly, are not arrogant at all, because they know there's so many people who have far greater wisdom than you. And what it means is that the beings who are at a higher level than you, there's no way for you to see them. There's no way for you to comprehend their states. It's impossible for you to understand. And so that's all you have, is that you have to be respectful. Because you're not respectful, you will not be taught. It's very simple. You're not respectful, good luck. We don't have to teach you. You're not sincere, It's not our problem. Okay? So the bodhisattvas themselves know that. That's why they're bodhisattvas. So bodhisattvas are extremely respectful, are extremely grateful. Okay, because unless you're taught, it's unlikely you can break through. This is not like Hinayana world where you can sit down, meditate, and you can figure it out. In the enlightened world, it's not that simple. You can't simply meditate and figure it out. Okay, it's not that easy. Okay, so that's why when you enlighten these bodhisattvas, they learn to be more respectful, more grateful. Okay, because they know that in the Mahayana world, there are plenty. You see, look at these numbers. There are countless bodhisattvas, mahasattvas who are in attendance. So throughout this universe, there are plenty of bodhisattva, mahasattvas who are present here. And who are not teaching us because we are not good enough. We're not respectful enough. That's why I don't care who you are. One of the first rules, thing you have to learn, is that you have to be respectful. You can't. You look at people, say, I don't give a damn about you. There could be one of them that you don't care about, you don't like, is actually a bodhisattva. This is the way it is. In this assembly here, there's so many bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, that you cannot tell who from who. Because it's countless. We have so many bodhisattvas and mahasattvas. They have one pope, one god, one prophet, whatever. We have like bodhisattva, mahasattvas as many as clouds in attendance of one Buddha speaking Dharma here in this whole world. In other worlds, there are other Buddhas speaking Dharma as well. You see, it's countless bodhisattvas, mahasattvas. They're everywhere. Yes, 9.
From Jason K., do mahasattvas still have ignorance?
Yes. They call mahasattvas because they still have ignorance. Yes, 1.
I had 2 questions. One is, are patriarchs typically mahasattvas? And
Not always.
And then my second question is, if a patriarch has disciples, and sometimes there's a patriarch designated, is it possible he has other disciples that are of higher level that are unknown?
It's more than possible. There are plenty of people who are higher levels than the patriarchs. Okay? Patriarchs are there to do a small part of the work because the amount of work is so big. There's no way a patriarch can handle it all. So that's why it's not uncommon for plenty of bodhisattvas, mahasattvas doing their work with or without patriarchs. And this is where the Chinese have this kind of mysticism where it says, patriarch. It's for low-level people where you don't know where to go, so you look for a patriarch, and that's the first thing you do. Okay? You look for a patriarch because that's what patriarch is supposed to do. A lightning rod. So people look at them and say, oh, that's Buddhism right there. Okay? But that's only a starting point. Once you get to that patriarch, right, you know where to go, then what happens actually, the patriarch quite often is not good enough to teach all living beings gathered there. So the Bodhisattva Mahasattva has to show up and help out. So it's not uncommon at all. However, you cannot say, I am going to learn from this person there, that person there, who cares about patriarch? It doesn't work like that. You start first with the patriarch, okay? Then you go look where the patriarchs are, the patriarchs' dharmas are, okay? You start first there because that's the starting point. The reference point, patriarchs are reference points, okay? And then and then we go from there. Okay? Because otherwise, so it's a good question, because what it means is that in Buddhism, you have to make the effort to go look for that patriarch, look for a good knowing advisor. Okay, and that's why the patriarch has to manifest himself, has to show up in order for people to go there. So Master YongHua had to show up, had to say, hey, I'm a patriarch. You can come here. Okay? And so that I can teach you. But it turns out that he had a lot of help himself. But as the nature of the help is that from the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, therefore no one knows. So everyone only knows about this patriarch thing, this patriarch person, but actually there's a lot more teachers around there that need to be there in order to teach and help living beings. That's why you have this countless number of bodhisattvas, mahasattvas everywhere. If you believe in this, what do you think they're doing? Sitting there and doing nothing? They're hard at work. Okay? So yes, I understand your question. I know where you're going. Of course, we all have limitations. Okay? So for example, in the history of Buddhism, Master Xu is the 8th ground bodhisattva. Master Nagarjuna, the Indian philosopher, the Indian patriarch, I think he's the 14th patriarch from India. He's a 4th ground bodhisattva. And yet he's a patriarch. Now, granted, 4th ground bodhisattva is a big accomplishment, okay? But 4th ground compared to 5th ground is like no comparison, let alone 4th ground to 8th ground, okay? Then why was he chosen to be a patriarch? I don't know. I'm no patriarch, so I can't give you the answer. However, if you look at the principle behind it, the 4th ground bodhisattva has a strength. The 4th ground bodhisattva will probably go to the ground chapter, it will be clearer. The 4th ground bodhisattva's skills or practice is erudition, meaning he knows a lot. He reads a lot. He can understand a lot. Okay? Very fast. Okay? Erudition meaning that you can give him a book. He said, okay, got it. That's how fast he is. That's the skill he developed. He specialized in doing that. Okay? So that's why when he went down to the Dragon Palace to look at this Avatamsaka Sutra, these 3 versions. One version is infinite number of verses. The second version is 100,000 verses, something like that, no, 1,000,000 verses, okay? And then the smallest is 100,000 verses, whatever. And he looked at them all and said, wow, this is so cool. So you know what it means? That he read all those versions. That's his specialty. Okay? So he read all those versions and he said, let me see. Big version, no, I can't. Don't have enough time to transcribe it. Middle version, if I transcribe it, human beings can not possibly have enough time to study it. So I go for the tiny version, okay, the small version, 100,000 verses or whatever. And he brought it back, okay. And he brought back our human world, and they decided, in order to transfer the knowledge from India to China. The Chinese have very poor memory compared to Indians. They only transfer over 40 chapters, 41 chapters, that's it. Representative of the teaching. Okay? So So that's what Nagarjuna's, one of his fundamental role is to bring back the Avatamsaka Sutra from the dragon palace to the human realm. If he does that, then he earned his stripes as a patriarch. So they have different specialties. Okay? Master Xu Yun, for example, you look at his teaching of Chan is pretty good. Okay? Very sound, very fundamental, but rigid. Chan is as flexible as a whip. But Master Xu Yun's teaching is so like a steel rod, you cannot bend it. It has to be this way only. Okay, it's not like that. Human beings is not like that. You cannot put humans' mind into a straight rod and a straight jacket to expect them to be transformed. They resent the hell out of you. You do that. You force it on them. So Master Xu Yun, so even though he's a Mahasattva, 8th ground Bodhisattva, remember he's a Mahasattva, his teaching is very, very sound. However, it's not effective. He doesn't have a lot of great disciples because he cannot teach. He doesn't know how to teach well. Okay? So his job was what? Who knows? I'm no patriarch. Repair temples? Think about it. He repaired so many temples in China, and he helped restore Buddhism or places of worship for Buddhism in China, which is a very, very big job. All right? That's what he spent most of his career doing, is fixing temples, going from places to places and fix up temples. So his blessings were used to rebuild temples. Okay? Why? There's a lot more going on, you think, so that he paves the way for the future generation. That's his job. We think very long terms. Remember in the sixth Patriarch Sutra, Jananabhaya Shashashaya, whatever his name is, he went there 170 years ahead of time. He said, this is a good place. You guys start building, preparing for my 6th Patriarch. You hear? You see? So they be paving the way for all these things to happen. Okay, so that's why Master Xu Yun is well regarded, well known in the Chinese world as a Chan master who mastered the 5 schools. Okay, and so that's what he built a name for himself doing that, doing his austere practices and his Huatou and so forth. But then the next patriarch, Master YongHua, and the telling tale is that he didn't practice in the Master Xu Yun, did he? So that he could surpass Master Xu Yun. Okay, so these Bodhisattva, Mahasattva have this big master plan here they're doing, and that you don't have to worry about. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so this, back to 180. This is different world, folks. This is where it is a honor and privilege to be able to hear about these great beings and what they do. And this is the quintessential Buddhist practices. Okay, Samantabhadra, and that's the universal worthy, and that's a Sanskrit name for him. He's one of the 4 Mahasattvas in our world, our Sao world. Okay, when Shakyamuni Buddha came to our world, okay, to propagate the Dharma, he relied on 4 great Mahasattvas to help him do the work. It's a teamwork. So among his help, his major, his 4 lieutenants, his 4 great generals were these 4 mahasattvas, one of which is universal worthy. Okay, he is symbolized in our altars, in our images, as riding 6 tusked white elephants, and he sits on the Buddha's right. Okay, so you go to Lu Mountain Temple, you pay attention, there's a bronze statue there of a person sitting on a 6-tusked elephant. 6-tusked elephant. Okay, and that's universal worthy. Okay, and it manifests, and he manifests the principles, the samadhi, and the practices. Li, Ding, Heng. Okay, and universal refers to the fact that the virtues of being all pervasive. Okay, and worthy here is Xian. The Xian that our level people have is those, the worthy here, the Xian here refers to the positions, these echelons that are between the echelon you have to go through before you can reach sagely grounds. This is Mahayana type of training. Only in Mahayana you have this training for the worthies training. Hinayana they don't. They stop at 4th stage Rahat. Mahayana we continue. We continue in this peculiar, this secret training called the worthies training. So far so good. And he's a Mahasattva. What is his level? When you talk about Bodhisattva, remember in our world, the Bodhisattva world is very hierarchical. When you're Bodhisattva, you don't ask them how old you are, how many years have you had. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many years you've had. Okay? And what they ask you is they ask, what is your position, your sagely position? Okay, and his sagely position is one position below the Buddha himself. That's called equal enlightenment. So far, so good? What does it mean, equal enlightenment? Equal enlightenment here refers to the fact that his wisdom is so close to the Buddha, so incredibly close to the Buddha's wisdom, that all he needs is a little bit more time to become a Buddha. How much more time? Asamkhya's of asamkhya's of asamkhya's of asamkhya's of asamkhya's kalpas. And then he'll become a Buddha. That's how close he is. You see, equal alignment to the Buddha, it takes about samkhya, I can't even pronounce it. Samkhya, so forth. Then you become a Buddha. Now you know why you go from one level to the next. Okay? It's such a big deal. And that's talk a little bit smaller scale. Okay? I mean, when we talk about Samkhya Kalpa, you guys have no idea what it is. Okay? Typically, the monks and nuns in Buddhism are stuck at 3rd dhyana, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Go to the temple, you see, most of them are 3rd stage, third dhyana, most of them. Okay? I don't want to comment about the Korean Sunims, okay? But typically, most monks and nuns, doesn't matter how long they've been studying, no matter how long they've been practicing, okay? If you look at them and they choose to be on their own, it's not good. Okay? Because it's so difficult. You get the third dhyana, it's so difficult for you to get out of the entrapments of third dhyanas have on you. And these people don't know what the entrapments are. That's why they're stuck there, lifetime after lifetime. They could be like very big name monks and nuns. They still cannot get out. Okay, so you have to realize that to go one level to the next, it takes a long, long time. It's so difficult. We're talking about the form realm, first dhyana, the fourth dhyana. It's impossible. I remember a kid I used to have when I first started teaching. He might be here tonight. I'm not sure. But not to embarrass him, I remember I started teaching like 15, 16 years ago, okay? And he's been like a disciple of the great masters and of course a devout Buddhist for his entire life, and following Master YongHua as well, a disciple of Master YongHua as well, a disciple of the other great masters as well. These people, they follow whoever is great, has a big reputation, and go and learn from them. And I started teaching Chan. I didn't know what I was doing, of course, okay? To be honest with you, I just said, I have to teach Chan, so let's teach Chan. And maybe we figure it out or not, and we don't know, okay? So I started teaching Chan, and I said, you've been practicing all these years? And you're only first dhyana? And you have all these big name teachers? First dhyana. That's it. And then so I started teaching after a few months. He made it to second dhyana. He didn't know how he got it to second dhyana. And then I said, well, you are pretty full of yourself. So I tell you what, I will ignore you, I will drop you, so that you go back to your world. And, maybe you learn something. Maybe and let's see what else you can do with your world. So I ignored him for many, many years. Many years later, I look back at him, you still second dhyana only? After all these years? Okay? And we're talking about a person who's very devout, who has plenty of blessings. He has so many blessings, incredible amount of blessings. Hinayana blessings, Mahayana blessings, all sorts of blessings. So don't think so highly of yourself, okay? Yeah. This is why you have to pay attention to the Chinese Buddhists, Chinese Chan, Chinese Mahayana. You have to look for a good no advisor. You don't look for a good no advisor, forget it, don't bother. I'm going to give you a small tip tonight. You don't have a good no advisor to cultivate from under, forget it, don't waste your time. It's virtually impossible. Nowadays, you can't figure it out. It's just too difficult. They confuse you in so many ways. Okay? So that's why I see people who are so arrogant, including my master's disciples. They say, my teacher is great. Big deal, your teacher is great, but you're not great. You're an idiot, as far as I'm concerned. Why are you so arrogant? That's why I'm so grateful to them, because I'm teaching you that. You better not be arrogant, because if you're arrogant, okay, you'll not be taught. Be blunt with you. Don't think so highly of yourself. Because not taught, you're gonna be spinning your wheels for a long, long time. There's nothing you can do about it. And that's why in Chinese system, what they had is something fantastic. They have this patriarch system, this good no advisor system where if you wanted, when the Chinese wanted to learn Buddhism, they looked for a good no advisor and it died. This is at the height of Buddhism in China. And after that, the people ran out of blessings. They're not looking for good no advisors anymore. Good no advisor to them becomes an empty word, an empty name, that's all. Now the Chinese would equate good no advisor to be someone who's famous. Okay? Talk to the current Chinese. To them, a good no advisor is a famous master, has big temples, has lots of followers and so forth. Talk to the Koreans, same thing. They look at the good no advisor, the teacher, as someone famous, someone big and so forth. Okay? Because it's the Dharma ending age, no one can tell who the great teachers are. But back then, at the height of Buddhism in China, the good no advisors are referred. They refer to each other. If you're sincere and you prove yourself, then they will refer you. They don't hesitate to refer you to the next person who probably can help you better than they can. And that's a Mahayana system that I hope that we have here in the West, in the Dharma ending age. And if we have that, then we have the proper Dharma age. That's the time when the Chinese used to have, and we need to build a system here in the West. Not necessarily in the West, but wherever Mahayana is, we need to have a Mahayana referral system where our devotees can go and seek for different good no advisors. We don't have to be afraid that, you come to my temple, you can't go to the next temple. If you go to the next temple, you'll be excommunicated. Okay? Mahayana is free. You're free to pursue your training, your education. There's no obstruction. If you're not happy, come and say, hey, I'm not happy. I'm not making progress. Where else can I go? Okay? And that's what happened at the height of Mahayana in China. And it declined over time, to the point where now it's a shell. It's no longer. They don't understand that who's a good no advisor anymore. Okay? And it used to be a default in China. And one of my small pet projects is to be able, in your generation, my generation is too late now. My generation, I'm disappointed, my generation. I'm very disappointed. It's a Hinayana mindset. I don't like it. Okay? I hope in the future, in your generation, third generation, we should have, conservatively speaking, maybe 20 good no advisors. Would be a good start. More would be better. Okay? Because the teachers must make themselves available to the good students. And not everyone can travel. Like the visas here in the U.S. is like, we're so haughty. You say, you want to come to America? You want to get in here? We all have that kind of attitude. And not everyone can come here, We should have centers throughout the world where the living beings have so much potential. It's just that they don't have the proper teacher, they don't have the proper support. That's why they're not there. We are able to tame and subdue their minds and help them. Okay, and that's just a start from our small perspective. We do that. I'm sure these Mahasattvas will come and help us out. Absolutely. Universal Worthy will help you out. Okay, guaranteed. Okay, and so his level officially, okay, in the hierarchy, and you look at, he said Universal Worthy. Okay, then he's ranked as equal enlightenment at his status, meaning that he still has to bow to Buddhas, but us, when we see him, we need to bow to him. All right, but actually, Universal Worthy actually is a Buddha already. So he manifests, he hides, he disguises the great and manifests the small in order to help sharpen the Buddha. Think about it. If he comes and says, I'm not Universal Worthy, I'm actually a Buddha, what's going to happen? Vicky will come to him and say, I want to learn from you. I don't like Shakyamuni Buddha. I'm Catholic. Okay? So that's why it's only one king. It's one emperor. There's no emperors in the world. Okay? No two emperors in the world. That's why only one king there. So that's why once Shakyamuni Buddha is a Buddha, then the other Buddhas also come and help by pretending, by manifesting as a lower level. Could be a Universal Worthy. Could be a villager. Okay, and could be a monk. Could be a investor, whatever. Okay, so they come and help. There's a very extensive network of such people. Yes, 2.
From Catholic Daniel, if you have 20 good knowing advisors, who do you listen to?
The Catholic one. Who else? I mean, it's so obvious of an answer. You have to ask this question. Okay, so you see, so this is very Buddhist. They manifest as small, okay, in order to avoid confusion. They're doing this to help the big picture, to contribute in the big picture. There's no competition, there's no rivalry, no me versus the others. Okay, it's because it's an act of wisdom. There's no competition at all. Because they're all striving towards the same thing. They don't think themselves better. For even Universal Worthy Bodhisattva doesn't see himself as better than, let's say, Xu Yun or Master Shenhua and so forth. It's irrelevant. It's the thought of I'm better than you. Doesn't even cross their minds. I'm superior or it's kind of nonsense. All right? So the first one here is Universal Worthy because he's here represents the Bodhisattva practices. He's comes to our world in order to teach us how to practice Bodhisattva practices. It's very important. You want to become a Bodhisattva, you have to know what to do. And you do those things, you become a Buddha. You don't do those things, you never become a Buddha. So Bodhisattva have their own peculiar practices. And Universal Worthy is the great Mahasattva who showed us what is the best Mahasattva practice to become a Buddha. And that's why that is what Master Shenhua brought to our world, to our country. This universal Mahasattva, Universal Worthy Mahasattva. Okay? That's our whole training is based on his practice. Yes, too.
Master, I've been fasting 19 days, and from now, the beginning of my fasting and until now, I'm full of thinking food. I think physical hunger is less than before, but still my mind looking for something to complain and get relieved from it. And I have nausea symptom all day long for last few days.
No what? Symptom?
Nausea symptoms. And I'm so bothered, get anxious by it. Then it makes me eager to searching for food again. And I'm so worried that I might have no progress in the end, because I know I follow my complaining mind told me to, instead of enduring suffering, reciting mantra or meditation. I tried meditation sometimes, but not as much as I could. I tried something else, but thoughts of eating and hunger arises, and then I'm totally overwhelmed by it. After, I don't feel good, but also justifying myself that I'm suffered enough from it.
So you want to stop? What do you want?
So my question is, keep going on fasting because I know I used many tricks. So what if my fasting goes not beneficial enough? I'm worried, but I don't dare to go for more days, Master.
You don't want to. You want to stop?
No, I will do 2 more days because I do 21 days fasting, so I can keep going on it. But just I'm worried if my fasting goes not beneficial enough.
Okay, very
this
good.
Way.
Okay. What to say? What can you say? I mean, the girl is suffering. She's suffering. Have you no compassion? How do you say it's good? She's suffering. Look at her. She's in pain. She looks still pretty good, though, for someone who's suffering. So, what can you say? And she prepared this speech, too. Jung-in, what to do? You Korean, I don't know.
Yes, Master. 저는 조금 더 했었으면 좋겠습니다.
What?
본인이 좀 쓰러질 때까지 좀 더 이렇게 했으면 좋겠습니다.
He sounds kind, but I don't think he means it.
Master, I hope that she go a little bit further and maybe up to the point that she will pass out.
You are so cruel. You clearly have a Hinayana mind. Anyone else would like to tell her what to do? Number 3.
Thầy, cổ mới bằng lần tiên mà cổ thiệt thực như vậy là cũng quá là cái sức lực của cổ cũng quá là không có thể nào mình bằng được. Mà cổ như vậy đó, cái nghiệp chướng cổ tiêu trừ được bao nhiêu thầy? Mô Phật.
Master, for the first time that she is able to fast like that, her strength is incredible. So my question is, like, how much obstruction, how much karma can she be able to eradicate?
Well, the old monk is a fasting specialist. I defer to him. Old monk, tell her what to do.
A Di Đà Phật.
See, he's so touched. Look, he's so touched. You know, this girl is suffering so much.
Cái chuyện cô này thật như vậy á, thì con thấy là cái thông thường thôi, tại vì con cũng giống như vậy thôi. Cái ăn là nó làm cho mình rất là khổ sở, là đói, thậm chí uống nước cũng không được nữa, thì ai cũng muốn ngưng hết á. Nhưng mà nếu mà cô thấy còn đủ sức thì ráng, còn không thì top cũng được, nhưng mà càng đi xa thì càng có kết quả hơn. Chứ còn cái cảm giác của cô muốn bỏ cuộc, nghĩ đồ ăn thì ai cũng vậy hết. Tôi cũng vậy thôi. Tôi còn hơn cô, tôi nghĩ tới mốt tuyệt thực xong xin thầy về Việt Nam ăn cho nó sướng nữa. Nhưng mà ăn ở đây nữa.
Don't translate that. It's embarrassing. Oh, good Lord. You're going to be an abbot. You're an abbot. How can you talk like that?
Nhưng mà cái cố gắng á, mình cố gắng mình nghĩ đến cái tu học thì mình ráng mình hy sinh, thì cái đó ai cũng gặp cái chướng ngại đó. Nhưng mà mình nghĩ đến cái xa hơn là mình tiến bộ, thì mình ráng, cái nó chỉ có hơn nhau vậy thôi.
So, Master, for the person that fasting and undergo whatever she's been undergo, that's normal, because I personally went through that, and then if like to the point like I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink either, and then it's normal that you want to quit. It's okay if you quit, but the longer you go, the more benefit you will receive. And then, personally, after I fast, I even have a thought like, okay, once I'm done, I will ask Master permission to go to Vietnam so that I can eat whatever I want, all of the great food over there. And then, so the big picture is like you have to think about cultivation, you have to make sacrifice, and then the ultimate goal is to make progress.
But she said that she's afraid she won't make progress. That's her concern. Yes, 5.
From Derek, just fast until Master tells you to stop. Don't worry about progress. From Catholic Daniel, I would never tell a person what to do. It would be up to her. If she can do more days, she can offer her suffering to living beings. From San Jose Daniel, kudos to the fasting lady. From Diego, go for 21 days, whatever it takes. Don't be so attached for the results. You do what you have to do. That's it.
Yes. 8.
Master, what does he mean by offer all the suffering to living beings?
I don't know what they're talking about. These people say words that they don't have any idea. I have no clue what they're talking about. How you offer suffering living being? You offer them good things, not sufferings. I mean, who wants? I mean, you offer your suffering to me. I say, no, thank you. These people are strange. Okay, anyone else? Hey, you, what do you have to say?
How many days she already done?
19. More than you.
19 is okay. She looks pretty good. She can go for 2 more days to be okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And after 21, then decide.
I mean, like, don't quit yet, even at 21?
After that, you decide where you want to go or not.
Okay. It's remarkable that many of you are able to go that far. It's very difficult. It's a lot of suffering. What these people who don't fast really don't have any clues. Okay? They don't know how difficult it is when you fast. Sometimes it hurts every single second. It's a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. A lot more than people who don't fast can ever imagine. Okay? So, yes, it's true. What they're doing is remarkable, but remember, it's under control. So that's why you go, but when it's time to stop, you should stop. All right? Meaning that we're doing this under supervision so that you don't fast by yourself, by the way. Fasting by yourself is too dangerous. That's why in Master YongHua's Dharma, when you fast, it's very elaborate. You need permission, you're under supervision, all those things. Okay, the point where nowadays with Master YongHua, they don't allow people to fast anymore. Very rarely do they go very far because it's very, very complicated. Okay, now it's because the Dharma is very, very, very difficult to practice. Plus, it's very, very delicate. You need a lot of help. Okay, now it's very remarkable that many of you are able to go this far. You can only do this because many conditions are there that favorable for you to do this. If you were to do this at a different place, it may not be possible. You have to realize that it's not possible for you to go through this, okay, without a lot of support, okay, a lot of things. For example, you don't need to go home. You go home, you drive home, you can pass out, okay. You can pass on while driving. It's commonplace. That's why I'm reminding all of you. I've been reminded of that as well because it happened to me. I passed out as well while driving, while fasting. It's a very, very dangerous thing. So when you fast, you need to stay in the temple. You need to not drive, okay? Avoid doing things like that. So you see, it's very elaborate. It's a lot more elaborate than you realize, okay? A lot more going on than you think. And when the reason, so for you to make it this far, okay, it's very, very remarkable. That means that you have tremendous blessings. Okay? It takes a lot of blessings to be able to do this. In fact, the Chinese system, they work. They create blessings for a long, long time before they go to achieve, before they undertake these difficult practices. It's not that simple, okay? And we, people in the West, need to learn that. We need to be keen on accruing our blessings, okay, as a prerequisite for cultivation. You can't just go to a temple cold turkey and expect to practice Chan and practice reciting mantras just like that because it probably won't work for you. You probably will drop out. And the reason you don't drop out, you haven't dropped out yet, is because you have enough blessings. Okay? This is not like a worldly thing where you can pay and learn. It doesn't work like that. And so you have a lot of blessings, you have a lot of support. That's why you got this far. Or many of you have gone this far, okay? Because you got all this infrastructure to help you, okay? In her case, her particular case, physically she's very well. I mean, she's still pretty good. Her problem is mental. It's not physical at all. The problem she's experiencing is that she has doubts and she worries. Okay, and it's not good, but it's good in a way. It's not good because she's being obstructed. They're trying to talk her out of continuing. Okay? What we worried about this, I don't mind telling you, what we worried about this Dharma is a physical side, where you run out of physical strength. It's very dangerous. You cannot afford to have that. Okay? But as long as you still have some physical strength, you still can do it, then ignore all those thoughts. All those thoughts are basically obstructions. The thoughts about eating, about being hungry, and all those things are meaningless. Okay, so this is a time for you to learn to ignore those thoughts. That's all. That's all you have to do, ignore them. They come, just do nothing. Okay? You're not making progress or not, it's not up to you to decide. So you see, right there, that thought, I'm not making progress, is nonsense. How do you know you're not making progress? Who decides you're not making progress? It's not you. It's them who are telling you you're not making progress. You're getting nowhere. Sound familiar? It's not you. So that's classified as, those thoughts are classified as obstructions. Okay? And so that's a bad side. Okay? You're being obstructed. The good side is that they have to obstruct you because it's a good thing for you. If it's a bad thing for you, they will not bother coming to obstruct you. So it's up to you to decide. If you feel like it, okay, you listen to them, stop right now. Don't need to wait till 21 days. What's the big deal? 2 more days, 3 more days, 2 more hours, 3 more weeks. What's a big deal? It's all in your head. Okay? So it doesn't matter. If you wish to stop, you can stop. Okay? But it don't need to worry about those thoughts. The thoughts are nonsense. Yes, 5.
From San Jose, Daniel, what does it mean to make progress when doing long fasts?
Well, when you do it, then you know. So my advice to you is this, okay? I see good things. Actually, I see you becoming better, but you don't see it. You only see your own suffering, but I see you becoming better. And it's very difficult for you. But I would go a little bit longer. Chung Yin, you're not helping. Anyone like me, I like to ask me, how much longer? Yes, 6. Pray say.
Thank you, Master. How much longer do you suggest?
I'd say 25. Well, she brought it up. It's not my fault. If she didn't ask, and she said, oh, you told me to start at 21, I'm starting at 21. It's okay, you're right, you got me. But since she asked, let's show them that they're wrong in coming to harass you. So you're training, the next few days, you're training to ignore them. This is your best chance to learn how to do it. That's why they're scared. These thoughts are increasing, yes, in frequency, yes, because they're scared. So watch them. Instead of stopping, go longer to see what they're going to do next. Aren't you curious? No? I am. I wonder what they're going to do next. Would you like to know? Because after this, as soon as you ignore them, they're going to come up with something else. That's when you see, you recognize it's them, not you. That's what they do to you. Pull the string, push this button. How else are you going to find out? This is when you find out. Call it progress or non-progress, who cares? Let's find out what they do. 25 days. You can do it. With more suffering, but you can do it. Okay? At least go to 23. Then ask me then. That's impressive, you know that? It's what you're doing is an incredible feat. It's very hard to do. Never mind about progress, just look how difficult it is. How many people can pull it off? Not many people. So who cares about progress? That's why they're scared. They're so scared. They try to talk you out of it. Ignore them. Go ahead, Kong.
I want to say a comment to 유민. 유민님, 되게 고생하고 있는 게 보이는데, 그래도 아예 미국에 가지도 못하고 출가했지만 마스터 한 번 못 뵌 저같이 불쌍한 사람도 있으니까 일단 미국에 가서 마스터 뵙고 위산사에서 열심히 수행하고 있다는 것만으로도 되게 대단하고 그다음에 계속 단식 열심히 하셨으면 좋겠고 유민님뿐만 아니라 이제 주민님, 영성님, 수키님, 이챔님, 하얀님, 영수님, 적연님 이제 한국에서 가신 분들 다 무사히 선칠 잘 마치시고 한국으로 잘 돌아오시기를 바랄게요. 다들 힘내세요. 화이팅!
Yumin, I see that you are suffering, but think about my situation. I left home, but I haven't seen a master even once.
What?
In person. So think about that you went to US and Way Mountain Temple you're cultivating. It itself is just awesome and great. And not only Yumin, but all the other Koreans, I hope they continue to fast, and I hope they could all complete this chi successfully.
Oh, how sweet. Yeah. Now you can't stop. Yes, old monk, 7.
Thứ nhất là con thấy rất là kính phục cái cô trẻ này, nhỏ hơn cháu ngoại con nữa. Nhưng mà cái đêm đầu tiên con cho cái nhóm đại hàng này xá lợi đó, thì lập tức sáng hôm sau cô này có thêm 2 ngôi nữa liền. Cứ thấy chứ phước báo cổ như thế nào. lúc đầu mới qua thôi. Thì tôi chỉ chia sẻ với cô một cái kinh nghiệm là đừng có mà nghĩ là 2 ngày, 3 ngày. Cô chỉ mong đến tối như đêm nay thôi. Là cô qua được 1 ngày. Thì sáng mai cô thức dậy 3 giờ. Cô chỉ mong đến đêm mai thôi. Thì lần nó tới chứ đừng nghĩ 2 ngày, 3 ngày, mình nó xa lắm. Đó là cái kinh nghiệm tôi trải qua, nó dễ hơn là mình nghĩ tới còn 4 ngày, 5 ngày, 1 tuần mình chịu. Nó rất là nặng đối với mình. Chỉ chia kinh nghiệm với cô vậy thôi.
Very good.
So, Master, I'm very, what do you mean, comfort? I'm sorry, I forgot that word.
Admire.
I'm really admire the young lady here. So she's even younger than my grandchildren. But the first night that I gave her the sharira, and then the following day, immediately she got 2 new babies. It shows like how much blessings she had. And then I want to share my experience with you. Don't think about 2-3 days. It will be very long, but then you only need to think like, okay, I will try to make it to tonight. That I finished one day, and then tomorrow when you wake up at 3 o'clock, you will try to endure the whole day and finish until midnight. That's another day. Because if you keep thinking about 4 or 5 days, it's very heavy, it's very difficult. But if you only think about 1 day at a time, it's much better.
Okay, very good. All right. Anything else? Okay. So we're here, going back to the sutra on slide 180. We have the first, they will list out 10 mahasattvas. First one being universal worthy. He's representative of the bodhisattva conducts. Okay, he's very high stature among the students. 181. Bodhisattva Mahasattva, supremely luminous lantern of universal virtue.
普德最胜灯光照菩萨摩诃萨。
And so this 182, the bodhisattva here, next bodhisattva that's listed as being recognized is named supremely luminous lantern of universal worthy. Okay, so universal virtue, meaning he cultivated virtues everywhere in the universe, in the Dharma realm, and his virtue is fully accomplished. That's why it's so bright. It can be seen throughout the universe. There's nowhere he practiced his virtuous conducts that he hasn't accomplished it yet. That's why the light of his virtue and his wisdom can reach that without any obstruction. Okay? 183. Bodhisattva Mahasattva, lion banner of universal light.
普光狮子床菩萨摩诃萨。
You see, 184, you see, when you hear about the bodhisattvas, we learn from a Chinese, the 4 great bodhisattvas, mahasattvas. Well, actually, you're finding out here, if they're listed here, the third one here, being lion banner of universal light, he's a mahasattva, he's most likely also a Buddha as well. Okay, these are the who's and who's. Okay, he may be called Mahasattva, lion banner, universal light, but actually he's most likely in order to be listed here, he's probably another transformation body Buddha. All right? And so his universe, his wisdom light here is pervasive. He speaks Dharma like a roar lion, scaring all other beasts. Okay, that's why roar lion refers to the fact when these great beings speak the Dharma, they are the sound of their speaking the Dharma is so terrifying to the evil beings, the ghosts and the demons. They're terrified of these sounds. Okay, and that's why they are respectful, and that's why they behave themselves. So the mere fact they spoke the Dharma like that commands respect for all these demons and ghosts. Okay? Without having to manhandle them, without having to force them, without having to beat them up. Go ahead, Kong. Unmute.
마스터 감사합니다. 지난번에 남편이 중국에 가서 몇 년 있다 오는 것 때문에 제가 걱정이 돼서 문의를 드렸었는데요. 마스터와 상담 후에 집에 가서 남편에게 내 마음을 이해는 못해도 존중은 해줬으면 좋겠다고, 중국 안 갔으면 좋겠다고 명확하게 얘기를 하고, 그 다음날 남편이 중국에 안 가고 한국에서 남아서 일을 하기로 결정을 했습니다. 네, 그리고 그때 마스터께서 이제 전문 카운셀러를 통해서 저희 대화를 하는 것이 좋겠다고 얘기를 해주셨는데, 제가 그 부분은 말로 못하고 편지를 써서 남편에게 나는 절에 다니는 것이 너무 중요하고 행복한데 이것을 자기한테 대화를 잘 전달하지 못해서 카운셀링을 통해서 우리 대화를 같이 해보자 편지로 전달을 했습니다. 마스터 감사합니다.
Master, last time I had a talk with you. It's about my husband, and he said that he might go to Korea he might go to China and work for a few years. And I was really worried after I heard that from him. So after talking to you, I went back home, and then I discussed with my husband. And I told him that even if you don't understand me, I hope you respect my words. And then I explained to him maybe he could stay in Korea rather than going to China. Next day, my husband told me that he will find work in Korea. And also, Master mentioned that my husband and I should see a professional psychologist or counselor. So I couldn't really communicate with him directly. So I decided to write a letter and just told him and wrote him that I'd like to see a counselor with him.
Okay, very good. Very good. Thank you for the update. I'm glad that your husband changed his mind so quickly. He's a good man. Hang on to him. Okay? When you talk to him like that, and you open your heart, and he listened. Okay, he really cared. So that's a great thing. Actually, I was worried that when I heard that you were coming here, and when he's still over there during this holiday season, that's not a good thing. Okay, so you have to look at the big picture. When you married him, you made this commitment to build your life with him. So holidays are a very important time for you to spend with the family. So it's in a good way. That is a good way in a way that's good that you stay there. Okay, you have to be patient. The time cultivation requires flexibility. And the time when it's possible to cultivate, we cultivate. We don't force the issue. That's cultivation too. If you keep on forcing the issue, then it's hardly called cultivation. So cultivate is, as Master YongHua put it, accord with conditions. When the conditions are not appropriate, then wait. Like Master YongHua, when he had to do something, he waited and waited and waited, okay, until the obstructions are resolved. Okay, so same thing, that I'm actually very, very pleased, actually worked out well that you couldn't come here, okay, and then enables you to speak to your husband face to face, okay, and spend holiday time with him. Okay, it's a good thing, okay, and I hope that all the wives, all the women, all the girlfriends, you should know that if you cultivate properly, it actually helps strengthen your bond to your spouses, to your boyfriends, and so forth. Okay, so it's part of cultivation. Okay, you have to be patient. Okay. It's a good thing, a good thing that he stayed in Korea, because then he has more chances for promotion than going abroad. Yeah. Many more chances. Okay. I wouldn't go to another foreign country unless I'm, the head of the operation or second the head of operations, because then you're preparing to be promoted. Whereas you go there to work, then it's not as many great opportunities as there were here in the home country. Okay, so it's a good thing. So what you do is, now that he agreed and he helped you, I hope you should learn from this and learn to talk, okay, to him and share your feelings and your concerns with him. And when he accommodates you in that way, I hope that you will learn to reward him or show your appreciation. Okay? So that he will continue to do that more often. All right? Okay, where are we? Okay, back to this sutra. Okay. Let me make one final comment about those of you who are struggling right now. Okay, you're nearing the end of your strength. Okay, it's a good thing. It's a good state. I'd like you to continue as long as you can. Okay, as long as still safe. Okay, and as the old monk says, don't worry about the time. You only make one goal. I do one more day. That's all. I will do one more day. Each day I get up, I do one more day. I will not quit today. Okay, that's all. You do whatever it takes to continue for one more day. And pretty soon, it goes by so quickly. Don't think of 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 21 days, 27 days. Think one day at a time. Okay? And do whatever it takes to overcome the obstructions, to do this one day. That's all. That's how you learn. All right, so we're here back to slide 184. So the royal lion is often associated with the speaker of the Dharma. This is not about the sound of a lion, okay, but it's an analogy because the whatever is being taught is extremely scary, extremely frightening to the demons and the externalists. That's why it's called a roaring lions. Even the other beasts are very fierce. In the jungle, when the lion roars, all the other beasts are scared and run away. This is this kind of picture in the jungle where the lion roars, he's unhappy, he's imposing his will, he says, I'm here, okay? And all the other are respectful, are scared, all the other beasts. Same thing here. When this Mahasattva speaks the Dharma everywhere in the universe, okay, his speaking of Dharma is so frightening to all the evil beings. Okay, that's tremendous power. That's tremendously helpful to living beings, devotees like us. Okay, and so a lion banner. So lion here, okay, is a banner. Also, banner here has, according to Buddhism, we're going to find this word very often. The rest of the sutra texts, okay, lion and banner, okay, and banner here has a couple connotations, okay. In our world, okay. Banner here has the connotation of being able to subdue and tame. Okay, so you can prevail over the opposition, just like when these thoughts of quitting arise. Okay, you find a way to continue. That is, you're learning how to prevail over those kinds of obstructions. Is that clear? So though you right now, you're at the position where you have these increasing forces that try to stop you, okay? And you continue one more day, you learn to prevail over them for one more day. That's all, 24 more hours. And next day, you learn to prevail another 24 hours, meaning that you develop the skills to last longer and to handle more of the obstructions. If you don't call that progress, I don't know what is. You last one more day, you're making progress. And that's why they're so scared. They say, you're not making progress. How do you know you're making progress? You're making progress because you're not quitting. By default, you're making progress. Okay? So anyway, so this banner here, he's a banner because he's able to, over the years, over his cultivation, develop the ability to prevail over the opposition. Meaning when he practiced fasting, when these thoughts of quitting came, he managed to find a way to not quit. Okay? So he's prevailing over those types of obstructions. You see that? It's very specific. It's not theory at all. So if you go one more day, you prevail over the obstructions of those types of obstructions. And that's why this is a pattern of cultivation for us. Okay? We prevail over the obstructions. That's why we later, when you accomplish it, you perfect this, you can say you are a banner. Okay? Because you can prevail over them. Okay? Because you prevail over, you say, I am a winner. You know, I'm a lord. I'm a king because I prevail over my obstruction, my enemies, my opponents. Okay? So far so good? And also, banner also has another connotation. It also symbolizes you put a banner in front of the way place. It says, this is way place. Okay? It's not the name of the temple. Sometimes the name temple doesn't matter. You put that banner right there. Okay? The banner is that this is Mahayana territory. Okay? The name is for human beings, but this banner there, put up there, is for all beings. So look at the banner, it says, this is the Dharma banner of Mahayana. Okay? And that's why it's called Dharma banner. Okay? So it's territory. This is Mahayana territory. This is a Chan temple. This is a Pure Land temple. This is a sacred school temple, and so forth. Okay? So you erect his Dharma banner to say, this is our territory. You come here, you better be careful. This is, you coming, into the lion's lair. You're coming into a lion's den. You better be careful. You see, what happened is that we have this Hispanic person who coming and steal the Earth Star Bodhisattva staff, the second one now. He stole the original one, okay, and then someone kindly put another one there. We didn't ask, but they put it there. Now they stole it again. Okay, so this person clearly has no respect for our way place at all. We should put a banner up there and say, this is our territory. You come in here, we shoot you. And by the way, from now on, I would like that gate to be locked. Okay? With a real lock at night. All right? No more of this, thing. I want it locked. Okay? Enough is enough. We're not doing enough. Yes, Anna. Give her a microphone, please. 3.
There is a show in Netflix that it's about some sort of Buddhist people, and maybe the young generation is watching it. So that's probably the reason they're disappearing, because somebody has a staff in there.
Has a staff?
The staff of the thing.
It's disappearing because someone is watching it?
Maybe somebody is coming to get it from you, because this is a very popular show in Netflix right now going on.
Yeah, but why would you want to steal from me?
Because they just want to have it themselves. They just want to use it for themselves.
Oh, I see. They want staff.
Yeah, it's just something popular right now, and if they see it there, they can have it. I'm just my guessing.
Can we get another staff? I would like some COVID-19, spread on the staff thing. The new variant, please. Enough is enough. I mean, they're so disrespectful. This is way place is for everyone, not for, we open the doors to everyone. We help everyone. And apparently this they're doing out of spite. It's not the show thing, they're doing out of spite. They try to damage, even pull it down. It could break the arm as well. It's just very, very disappointing. We've been here for 4 or 5 years now. And, we've been very quiet and participating in the community and neighborhood, okay? And since we've been here, the prices of the houses around here have gone up like crazy, a lot more than the other cities. Can you imagine? Our houses are so expensive, at par as fancy cities next door. It's crazy. Because people want to move close to the temple. So wherever we go, we have this Dharma banners, and this is our territory, and we hear it scares away these people, okay, these evil elements, drug dealers, and so forth, and these people should be more respectful. They're creating serious offenses. Okay, and that's why we cannot ignore it. Now we have to lock it. We really have to lock the gate because if we don't, these people will keep on coming and desecrate sacred grounds. They're going to go to the hells. These two Hispanic guys will go to the hells for sure. Unless something else a lot worse will happen to them before that. Okay, they can't ignore it anymore. Anyway, all right. So, but that comes with the territory. When you are scary to the ghosts and the demons, they will, come harass you. That's all they can do. This stuff is just harassment. It's nothing. It's meaningless. It doesn't do anything. Okay, and this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be able to set up a Mahayana territory, defend it, and so that people can have a safe place to come and get some help. Okay? So this banner here is just that this is our territory. Okay? And you come here. Okay? And so these small things, these small Hispanic thieves are meaningless. They are just annoyings. But the demons take notice and they become respectful when they come here, because we are also here to help them as well. We're helping all living beings, not just good people, bad people too. Okay? There's some pretty bad people that I decided to banish, but otherwise we help everyone. With no exceptions. We don't discriminate. You follow the rules, you get help. Yes, 8.
Master, what time will the temple be locked?
At night. This particular guy here, and these people, they come in the afternoon to try to steal, but they see the patterns, okay? But primarily now, they come in wee hours when you're asleep, when you're resting, okay? All right, it just comes with the territory. It's just annoyance, that's all. It's meaningless. They're not making money, just doing out of spite, and they afflict you. This is a Chanchi too. So for example, because a Chanchi is really what's happening is inconsequential, the real damage is when you get afflicted. If they do this and you get upset, then they succeeded. You do this, you say, big deal. Yes, 9.
Master, I have a question. I don't know how to put it, but I've been harassed in my own house by members of my family because I come to the temple, and they just always come to harass me while I'm making my food, and I get really, not my food, but the family's dinner, and I get really afflicted by it, that it's also hindering my cultivation. I just decided that maybe I should stop and not come in because I feel that I'm being disrespectful to these people. What's your advice on that?
Okay, very good. It's commonplace. When you go to the temple, your family usually are against it. Whether they tell you they're against it or they do things to show their displeasure and their disapproval. Okay, that's expected. That happens to everyone, not just like you. All of us have to go through this. It's very rare you find someone who can come to the temple and without any problems. At first they say, you can go, and then pretty soon they say, why do you go so often? You know, and they come up with these reasons, excuses, okay? And that's part of cultivation. What it means is that you need to learn how to deal with that, because it's going to be ongoing. Not just this gonna change to something else. The obstruction will be more subtle or more obvious. It depends, okay? And you just have to learn to not be discouraged and accept it as part of cultivation. If they come over and they do things to show their displeasure and they're disrespecting your decision and what you do with your life, with your time, okay? Then what you do, you have to learn to not get afflicted. This is a chance for you to cultivate. They're trying to afflict you. If you get upset because of their attitude or their lack of respect, or they're coming and trash your house or something, if I were you, I'd say, come here, go trash it. And after you're gone, I clean it up. I will ask my husband, I'm going to hire a molly maid or someone to come and clean it up because your relatives, okay, trashed it. So now I don't have time to clean it up. Let's hire a maid to clean it up. So, and the next time they come, he said, please come. When are you coming? I will schedule the maid to come too. You see that? So it doesn't mean anything. If they obstruct you and you accept it, embrace it, okay, work around it, and that's cultivation. Cultivation doesn't mean you come here and no one should stop you. Cultivation is learning how to deal with obstructions. It's not sitting. The reason you can sit is because you're able to overcome obstructions to your sitting. The reason you're fasting is because you're able to overcome obstructions so far. And when you can't anymore, you have to stop. Same thing. You come to the temple because you're able to overcome obstruction and enlist some support. And you can't anymore, then you have to stop coming. Okay? So it's a chance for you to cultivate by learning how to deal with those obstructions. My attitude is that if they, whatever they want to do to discourage you, encourage them. Can you do more? Can you make a bigger mess? Huh? Whatever you do, you want to afflict me, do more of it. Okay? Do some more and more and more and more. And that's our attitude. Obstruct me more. That's cultivation. Your coming here is only secondary. The coming here, this is what people don't understand about cultivation. In cultivation, the Hinayana say, I sit here and I meditate. Okay? The way I teach you about cultivation is that I don't care what you do. Whether you're fasting, whether you're working, whether you are cleaning the house, whether you're cooking. Okay? But the thought of quitting is what you're learning to cope with. That is cultivation. Your thought of quitting is what you have to learn to resolve. That is cultivation. It's not coming to the temple. See? Can you recognize now? They want you to quit. It's very simple. Ignore them. That's easy right now. But that's the nature of how they pull your strings. They're harmless. Just ignore them. Okay? And in your case, they're real human beings, they're real relatives. Let them, encourage them. And then clean up after. What's the big deal? I try to teach this woman here for 3 years now. I tell them she's anti-waste. He says, don't waste water, don't waste electricity, don't waste food. I've been teaching her for 3 years now. Let them waste. Please waste water. Please waste electricity. Please waste food. Why? Because the message is that it's not about waste. It's about you being afflicted when they waste. The waste doesn't matter. It's you being afflicted because they try to stop you. Ru Shu, are you listening? It's about you not getting afflicted and blaming others. That's cultivation. It's not about coming to America, or coming to the temple, or having no waste and having a perfect world. It's about learning not to quit. Learning not to get afflicted. Learning not to worry. Embrace it. Embrace the suffering. Your own suffering, you have to embrace it. Your own affliction, you're so upset, embrace it. That's what they're doing to you. You have to embrace it and say, I'm not going to get afflicted. That's how you can help people, because they're being themselves. They don't afflict you, they will afflict someone else. That's all. So, by you allowing them to waste water, waste electricity, and afflict you, they're not afflicting others. You see? So you're helping them, you're helping others. You think Mahayana is like something, you have a magic pill, you practice Mahayana, and you become perfect, and you become perfect citizen, you're successful, you make a lot of money, you're famous, and you're happy, and your wife loves you dearly. No, Mahayana is hard work. It's very unglamorous. We struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle. That's our cultivation. And that's the struggle makes us humble. This is about humility. It's not talk. Humility requires you to take the beating, to take the failure and not quit. It's not about success. I'm not teaching about success. I'm teaching you about how to handle failure, how to handle obstructions, and not quit. That's how you develop wisdom. All right, we stop here tonight. Thank you all.